moment. Edward's there at the back. If anyone wanted to speak to the members of the naming committee but hasn't signed in, you
I call the naming committee to order. My name is Josie Martinez, and I'm the chair of the committee. I am a District 3 trustee representative. Yeah. So we want to thank you for being here with us this afternoon, for your input on the Texana Gallery naming. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to Dale McNeil. He is the Assistant Library Director for Public Services. Dale?
Yes, good afternoon. Phone on. I'll get used to this modern approach someday. So again, as a trustee welcomed you, I welcome you as well. What we're here for is to hear comments in response to a name proposed to honor a fundraising gift. So you've all seen the posted meeting, that's why you're here. We do have some written comments, which I'll be reading. We do have at least one person who signed up to speak today, so we'll invite you to speak. But I want to just talk a little bit about process before we do that. So many of you know, I look around, I see such familiar faces. Many of you know the process for this project on the 6th floor of the library started, I don't know, 2015, 2016. In 2018, the Board of Trustees took action to approve certain namings in honor of donations. As I think we all know, in the world we live in now, that's a thing that's appealing to donors, is to be able to name something. And I should say, in the charter of the City of San Antonio, only the Library Board of Trustees can name library buildings or spaces within libraries. So if you're familiar with other city departments, you would think it would be the City Council organization to simply offer a name in response to a gift. Rather, there is always a public meeting like this one really to hear if there's any objection to that name. And sometimes there's quite spirited debate. So I think this process is a valuable one. So this is in response to, so the first thing is the board has to approve the opportunity. So the foundation can't go just raise money and say, you could name whatever. No, it has to be the board has approved it in advance, which that happened in 2018. They set a minimum amount for each space. For the space that we're talking about today, the minimum that was set was $100,000 as the minimum donation. The Library Foundation has raised considerable money for this project. There are some other projects in that will be naming as well, and we'll have separate meetings. We may combine a few of them, but there'll be some more meetings about some more spaces in the Texana space. But in this particular case, the San Antonio Public Library Foundation's board decided to make a kind of a gap closing gift of $200,000, but asked that this gallery space be named in recognition of that gift of $200,000. So that's where we are. The minimum was $100,000. They've pledged the $200,000 to name the space. And you might question, why is the name so long? I'm just going to address that. So San Antonio Public Library Foundation Gallery at Texana. Part of the reason it's so long is that we don't want in the future any confusion with the official name, whatever it ends up being, whether that's it or something different, and the gallery that's right here beside us. So that's just called the gallery, but we just want to make sure that the gallery space on the 6th floor has a distinctive name. So that's kind of where we are. And, and I guess then to follow up. So the naming committee will hear from you. This item, they will then recommend a name. It could be the name that was on the agenda today. It could be some different name. They will recommend a name. That will come to the next to a meeting of the Board of Trustees. So it'll be on the agenda. It's never a secret. It's on the posted agenda. And then there would be opportunity for citizens to be heard, to comment at that board meeting as well. So we have this one public meeting and then the opportunity at that meeting of the Board of Trustees. So that's the process. Do you all feel I've answered any potential? It's not a dialogue, of course, but I can ask them if they feel like I've answered the questions. Okay. So that being said, we do have written comments that I will read. We have one person who called and left a voice message. We'll play that, but we always start with the people who are actually in the room because you were able to come today and you're here. So I think we have someone signed up to speak. Is that right?
Yes, Dale, we have Sally Avila here. You can come up to the
Yeah, just to the. And there is a 3-minute limit, which I should have said.
Would like to remind us when we're naming such an important building in the center of San Antonio that many of our founding families in San Antonio, Coahuila, y Tejas have always been, I'll step back, not always, but very frequently have been omitted and forgotten in our history. Now with technology, we're able that we're Mexican or American, and not that we have to be reminded of that, but as Latinos or Hispanics, many of us are coming to find out that we have indigenous roots. And if that's not included in the name, I'm totally fine with that, but I would like it to be displayed in our Texana library. Thank you. And I don't have a suggestion for a name.
Thank you very much for your comments. Now I think we'll go ahead and, unless we have anyone else from the audience, did not sign up but wishes to speak, now we can get you signed up.
Hey. Okay, so again, if someone comes in and wants to speak, we'll let them know. So you get to listen to me for a while. If you're here and have a written comment and you would prefer to speak, just wave at me and you can speak. That is fine, even though you didn't sign up. Okay, so the first comment is from Fernando Centeno. As for your solicitation to provide input to the library board in their effort to name the Texana Resource Center, your suggested name sounds forgettable. Ironically, San Antonio was established in 1718 and in 1731, utilizing Spanish names, not a name adopted after 1836. Will your resources limit themselves to post-1836, or will they include pre-1836 materials and resources as well? Thank you. The second comment is from Rudy R. Rodriguez. San Antonio Public Library Board of Trustees Naming Committee, San Antonio, Texas, regarding naming of gallery space. Our congratulations to the board and library staff for your work to revitalize the former Texana library space. We're very excited to begin to visit the new space. In regard to the naming of the new gallery space, we submit the following name, Texana Gallery Space. Thank you for your consideration and outreach. Viva Tejas, Rudy R. Rodriguez, founder, president, TexasTejano.com. Comment number 3, Mariah Watson Pfeiffer. Naming committee meeting, July 13th. Hello, this is Mariah Watson Pfeiffer. I will be out of the country and not able to attend the meeting. As background, I helped found the Friends of Texana Genealogy, currently on hiatus, when the library moved into this building. I also was a member of the foundation committee that worked with the staff and architects to realize the plan that is finally underway. Of course, the foundation must have prominent recognition for its work in fundraising for the gallery that will make the collection more visible to the public. My only question or concern is the signage placement, which I believe is to be in the small elevator lobby at the northwest corner of the 6th floor. I hope as one exits into the lobby, there will be a prominent sign identifying the 6th floor as the Texana Genealogy Department, Texas History Resource Center, or whatever the name of the department. As an aside, who will determine the department's formal name and when will it be selected? Underneath the sign identifying the 6th floor or near this signage should be San Antonio Library Foundation Gallery. To avoid confusion, 2 separate identifying signs will better clarify spaces. Finally, I'm curious if a complete signage package has been designed by the architects. The 4th comment is from Frank Faulkner. Okay. Yeah, you're okay if I read it? Okay. I just wanted to ask. I don't ever want to assume. Naming Committee of the San Antonio Public Library Board of Trustees, Texana Genealogy Gallery, Volunteers Gallery. I recommend the Texana Genealogy Gallery be named Volunteers Gallery by the San Antonio Public Library Foundation in honor of volunteers. Volunteers have been essential to the Texana genealogy from its creation in 1995. Between the 1st of October 1995 and the 30th of September 2023, volunteers in Texana genealogy alone compiled 181,520 hours supporting staff in the department. Volunteers worked at the genealogy reference desk, transcribed historical documents, WPA newspaper excerpts, city cemetery cards, etc., allowing for keyword searches, inputting data for 3 books published by Los Bejareños Genealogical Society, assisted in book repair, and much more. The Friends, summer reading programs, and many other programs might not exist without volunteers. Other city departments also depend on volunteers to carry out their mission. Over the years, many of our volunteers and staff have been volunteers not only at SAPL, but in other organizations in the city. For example, the Food Bank, Oasis, PTA, Boy and Girl Scouts, Heritage and fraternal organizations, and more. And let us not forget cooperative ventures with schools at all levels and the military. Volunteering has been an important part of San Antonio's history from the time the Canary Islanders agreed to settle here until today. The San Antonio Public Library and its foundation should recognize these generations of service with this volunteer gallery. Thank you, Frank S. Faulkner, Jr., retired librarian. The fifth comment is from Michelle Habash. Library Foundation Gallery at Texana is too long and cumbersome of a name. Foundation Gallery would be a better name, short and sweet. The sixth comment is from Dawn Lustig. Her comment, the proposed Texana Gallery name is very good. And then we have a voicemail comment, which I believe Edward is going to play. And then it looks like maybe do we have one other person?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll play the voicemail, and then we'll go to the in-person comment.
Hello, my name is Patty Elizondo, and I have a suggestion for the July 13th meeting, a suggestion for the Texana Resource Center Gallery naming. I wanted to nominate Mariah Watson Pfeiffer. That's M-A-R-I-A-H, Watson, and then P-F-E-I-F-F-E-R. She is a fourth-generation San Antonian, a self-employed professional historian, freelance historical researcher, and consultant. Received her BA in political science from the University of Texas at Austin, her MA in urban studies from Trinity University. During 31 years as an historian and preservation consultant, she has made extensive use of primary and secondary sources, such as private and governmental records, photographs, and maps to prepare documentation of historic sites, buildings, and districts. She has affiliations with the National Council on Public History, the National Trust for Historic Preservation, the Texas chapter of the Society of Architectural Historians, the Texas State Historical Association, the Whitty Museum, the Daughters of the Republic of Texas Library, and the San Antonio Conservation Society. Again, it's Mariah, M-A-R-I-A-H, Watson, W-A-T-S-O-N, Pfeiffer, P as in Patricia, F-E-I-F-F-E-R. Mariah Watson Pfeiffer, a local gal and very active in the kinds of resources that the Texana Resource Center Gallery will be housing. Thank you very much for allowing me to suggest this very worthy individual, and I wish that I could be at the meeting on the 13th, but I have a conflict with another appointment. Again, it's Patty Elizondo, and my number is 210-492-4099 in case you have any questions. Thank you so much, and God bless. Bye-bye.
Margot Moreno, good afternoon. If you'll please approach the podium. Thank you.
Found that one of those things is indigenous. Now, San Antonio is the only UNESCO site in Texas. And the only reason that San Antonio is a UNESCO site is because the missions. What most people don't even stop to consider is that the only reason the missions were built was for the natives. The Native Americans was the sole purpose for the missions here, and that was to Christianize the natives. So every year we have a festival for for the World Heritage, but very little is ever said about the Native Americans. I would like to propose, because in the missions there were over 200 tribes, so we can't take one tribe's name and put it there. I would like to propose that we consider First Nations Peoples Gallery for the title of the Texana. This way we could make it more inclusive and sort of a way to honor the people for which this particular city was actually built. Thank you.
Okay, so was there anyone else who wanted to speak today and wanted to sign up? So we have the sign up right here. You can still sign up. We're a small group. It's not like we have to limit our time, so that's fine. Just while she's signing up, I'll just say again, when we're finished today, the naming committee will meet later, and then they'll bring a name to the Board of Trustees. Also, there are other spaces that will be named, so you're gonna, obviously you're interested in this project. You'll see other posted meetings in the future for at least one more meeting for other spaces in Texana to be named. There are multiple spaces that will be named.
I have Lisa Santos.
Hello. I'm Lisa Santos with the 1718 San Antonio Founding Families and Descendants. What I'd like to know is, what is the name that you already have suggested?
The name that the donor is suggesting is Texana, is Library Foundation Gallery at Texana.
Listening to this, because I just heard about this meeting, so I decided to come. The first thought in my head was the San Antonio, Texas Library. If you need to keep San Antonio in there, we can keep it in there. Instead of saying Texas, you can say Tejas, T-E-J-A-S, Library. You can add to it. It's a lot shorter than what the proposed name is, and I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you.
If there are no more comments, we will go ahead and adjourn. Thank you for your presence this afternoon.